Welcome, everyone, to the Daily Slab for Wednesday, October 12th, 2022. I am Nate, and I'm here with your sports card rundown. On this day in history in 1989, 4 games into the NFL season, the Dallas Cowboys traded Herschel Walker to the Minnesota Vikings. Now, there was a lot of moving pieces. We won't get into it here, but at least 3 firsts and 3 seconds changed hands going to the Cowboys along with players. And a couple of those picks ended up being Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer, and Darren Woodson, Hall of Famer. One of the more lopsided trades in NFL history. And a little bit interesting, I thought, anyways, is that if you go look at Herschel Walker's tops rookie from 1987 PSA 10, well, it's at $207 current price, whereas the Emmitt Smith is at $132 current price for his 1990 tops traded rookie PSA 10. Now, of course, Emmitt Smith, significantly better running back than Herschel Walker. Herschel, in his career with the Vikings, only had 2,264 yards and 20 touchdowns in 42 games. So, pretty disappointing stats from him there. Trade did not work out, and yet his prices are higher. But don't be alarmed. It's because of pop count. If you look at the pop counts on the Herschel Walker, there's 191 PSA 10s for his 1987 rookie from Tops, whereas there's 4,305 PSA 10s for Emmitt Smith. So if you put that number way down, Emmitt Smith would be blowing him out of the water. So on this day, one of the most lopsided trades in history. Our IG post of the day is the Max Verstappen post. He won in Japan over the weekend to secure his second straight F1 title. It was his 12th win on the season. He's closing in on the most wins in a season in F1 history. And yet, despite all that, his prices are down. So we're talking his 2020 Topps Chrome Rookie Variation PSA 10, Refractor PSA 10, sold for $3,000, which was $4,000 less than it sold last December. 58% decrease. That's pretty drastic, and obviously we know why. Also, his gold sold for 11,750, and it finished this weekend 11,750 on 922, and it finished this weekend at 10K, which is also down, not as drastic as 58% since last December, but it is still down. And so it just goes to show you what kind of times we are in. Max Verstappen might set a record this year, wins his second straight championship, and his prices are down. Some of that might be because he's not very likable, and some of that has to do with current economic factors. And so, if you're out there and you've got these cards and you paid high, it might be worth just holding and waiting out the wild ride. Our trender for today is Fernando Tatis Jr. Yes, we've talked about him in the past on various things at SlabStox, but I wanted to bring him back up because the Padres beat the 100-plus win Mets. The Padres, who kind of limped into the postseason, beat the Mets, who also limped into the postseason. And while that was majorly disappointing for the Mets, all that money they spent, all those expectations with DeGrom and Scherzer as their co-aces, and they lose in the first round to a Padres team who had a black cloud hanging over them the entire season from Fernando Tatis, not only because of his suspension, but also because of the injury he sustained earlier in the year and wasn't going to be playing for most of the year, and then gets suspended. Whole black cloud, but they made the playoffs, and that's the most important thing in baseball, is to just make the playoffs, and you have no idea what's going to happen from there. Well, the Padres, they go on to beat the Mets, and that's a bad sign for Fernando Tatis, if you ask me. If they lose, everyone blames Fernando Tatis, but at least we know that Fernando Tatis is needed for the Padres to win, you know? So it's like a double-edged sword. Yeah, you get blamed, but yeah, you realize your worth. Well, the Padres won. They beat a good Mets team, and now a lot of Padres fans dislike Tatis. Probably a lot of his teammates dislike Tatis. And also, they don't need him to win. That's a really tough spot to be in if you're Fernando Tatis. And so I was curious to see where his prices went. And my, oh my, they're dropping even lower. His 2019 Topps Heritage Chrome Rookie Refractor out of 569 PSA 10 sold for an all-time low all-time low of $264 on the 9th of October. I'm telling you, these cards started out at $305. The very first PSA 10, $305. It's been up from there ever since until now when we just settled in at $264. Where we'll go from here, I don't know, but it is kind of curious that we are literally in a bottomed out phase for Fernando Tatis. He's never been this low. This is a premium card, and I do think some of it has to do with the fact that they're winning without him. So we'll see how the Padres do the rest of the playoffs, but keep your eye on Tatis cards because they're still dropping. All right, that is all I have for the Daily Slab today. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and I will talk to you guys again tomorrow on Thursday for the next Daily Slab.